When I turned 4, I asked my parents for a bike, and I got a little sister. Then, when I was 5 and a half, I asked for a puppy, but I got 2 twin brothers. And this year, I'm going to ask for another little sister, and maybe I'll get that bike.
First National Bank, believing in the community, preparing for the future.
Hello, and welcome to Press Pass, Episode 9. I'm George Anderson, and joining me today is Jules Mercier of Friends of Music. How we doing?
Okay. How are you, George?
Good. I brought you on this week to talk about the upcoming dinner theater event. When is that coming up again?
February 11th.
February the 11th. And I understand it's going to be a bigger event than normal?
I don't know if I would call it bigger,
name.
but different.
Okay.
And a little bit different in character.
Okay.
And in, to some degree, the notoriety of the performers.
Okay. Can you embellish us a little bit on that?
Well, 2 things. One, this is a barbershop quartet coming.
Okay.
We've never done that before. We've had unaccompanied singers. We've done what's called a cappella singing before with events in Friends of Music, but we've not done that with the dinner theater event. And we've certainly not had a quartet of singers like this. And they're not just a barbershop quartet. This group is called Stormfront, and they are the 2010 International Barbershop Quartet Champions.
Really?
The Barbershop Harmony Society has an annual event. They crown a champion. These guys won it.
These are the guys.
In Kansas City, as a matter of fact.
Right.
And they did so after having placed 3rd a couple of times and placed 6th one year.
Okay.
Then they won it. And I think they did so also not only because they are an exceptional quartet of singers, but because they are an exceptional quartet of showmen as well.
Okay.
And they do quite a bit more of the showmanship bit than a lot of quartets do, or choruses.
Okay.
Some get into it, some don't. These guys are really good with comedy. And so they are as much fun to watch as they are to listen to in some cases.
Do you know very much about them? Have you seen them personally?
Have not met them personally,
Okay.
but I do know that 2 of them live in the Denver, Colorado area,
Okay.
and 2 of them live in the Atlanta, Georgia area.
So how did you guys go about getting those to come to Kennett?
Making contact, discovered that they existed after they had won the international championship, and made contact with the group. You can look them up at their website, and there's a manager, and we simply discussed issues and when and how, and here we go.
All right.
Made it work.
Now, do these guys wear the little hats and the red and white striped shirts, or they?
Oh, they probably do on occasion. And our decorations are going to be red and white.
Okay.
Now that you say that, but they tend to be a little bit more extreme in some cases for the showmanship part.
Okay.
They do have some, as other quartets, have some rather unique outfits that they wear. Suits. I've never seen them wear anything else. and yet they have purple suits. They have lime-colored suits, as well as black and white and other such things that might be a little bit more traditional in the barbershop area.
Okay. Well, anything else on Stormfront that you'd like to say?
Well, I think that what they do is what makes this year's dinner theater event so unusual for us. It is that they are not just singing barbershop harmony,
Right.
which they do. They do it quite well. They do traditional barbershop songs. They do. They also do a few other kinds of things. A little bit of gospel, some other pop music, all kinds of things. But when they get into the comedy, the satire, the joking around, it's really quite remarkable. And I think they have been well known for that for many years. They are not afraid to poke fun at themselves as well as others, all in fun, all in jest. And they obviously have a very good time doing what they do. And that, I think, is what convinced me, at least, that this was a good group for us. Because it was something not just entertaining, but different than what we're accustomed to having, not only for us, but here in the area.
Right.
And I'm looking forward to it a great deal.
Have
I don't know
tickets-
exactly what they'll be doing in the event, but that's for them to decide, and I have an idea of some things, but they won't say
Right.
exactly what.
Can have surprises.
So it's theirs. It's their show, and
Right.
that's what we look forward to.
The tickets are on sale now, or
We can sell tickets now, yes,
okay.
all the way up to probably the day of the event, although we'd rather not have too many sales the day of, because that creates difficulties with the food preparation and so forth.
Okay.
Tickets are $30. They can be purchased from Friends of Music, from our board members, by calling us, by emailing us, by looking on the website. People can also buy tickets at Zenith State Bank,
Okay.
at Chamber of Commerce, and at Kennett National Bank, and they're available.
All right.
And by the way, the $30 is to cover both the show and a catered meal, which is done by Pat Mitchell's Traveling Whisk.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a sumptuous meal, we can say.
Do you have
Meat and potatoes and vegetables and dessert and salad and things to drink, and it will be nicely laid out. It always is, and we look forward to that part of it also. But then following that, then the show, and we really look forward to that too.
Okay. Now the dinner theater event that you guys do, can you give me a little bit of history on that?
Started almost by accident. We had a group from St. Louis that was in Kennett and the area doing school performances.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing they were a group of about 8 people, I believe, and as I recall, and they did what they called an evening of cabaret. It seemed perfectly reasonable to do something like a dinner theater type setting, a cabaret type setting. And sure enough, it worked out quite well. And so we tried more of that as time went on and found that it does work. And we found it a very good thing to do. So we've enjoyed doing it over the years. It's a more taxing issue for us in terms of preparation than most of the things we do.
Right.
But we've learned a little bit about that over the years, and so we're pretty much ready for what comes.
Okay. Now, speaking of the other events that you guys do, can you tell the people that are out there watching a little bit more about what Friends of Music is, what events they host annually? I know you got the shows that come up. You have a calendar every year of shows that you guys do.
We've already had some things this year. We have more to come.
Mm-hmm.
What we do is, for now 32 years we've been doing this, we present a concert series. And the concert series is a real variety of music. We like to think in terms of certain kinds of music that would not otherwise be heard here in Kennett, and have mostly stayed in that direction. We not only do classical performances, but we do jazz performances. We sponsor the Kennett Municipal Band. We're part of organizing that at the beginning. We have a jazz band that comes from Dexter every year. Schola Cantorum is a local choir, so we do support local performers, but then we bring people from outside, professional performers. Sometimes they are university people, which does not make them less professional, but in some cases they are not people who spend their entire day preparing for performances, but teach and do other things. But we've also had people who literally spend their time making their livelihood by performing only. They do very limited teaching or other activities, and what they do is perform. So we have a variety in terms of where our performers come from. Most of them are fairly close to us. We've had performers from Nebraska and New York and Minnesota, but most of them are closer to home than that.
Now, Brooke Privet, she's involved with you guys, right?
She has performed on many events with us. She'll be back, I believe, with the group that is performing in March. We have an event coming with the St. Louis Brass, a professional touring brass quintet. They've been here before. This will be their international touring group coming, and there'll be a local brass ensemble performing with them at the beginning of the concert.
Okay.
I think Brooke will be a part of that.
All right.
Plus some other local players, plus some high school students. So we're looking forward to that on March 24th, I believe that is.
Okay. Now you guys, I had Phil Wilburn on a couple shows ago, and we talked a little bit about the CAFTA, Kennett Alliance for the Arts. You guys remember that too, correct?
Yes.
How did the event that was on the square benefit you guys as far as exposure? Did y'all get anything from that, or how involved were you?
Oh, I suppose if people knew we were involved, they would say, gee, that's nice. They would have recognized some of our contribution to that. I think, in my view, at least, doing that is good for the arts, and therefore that's what we did. How those festivals develop, how that one developed, how this next year's festival will develop, or in the future, I can't say as far as the future is concerned.
Right.
This one developed the way it did based on something that had been done before. So we had the art show, and we had music performances, and we had little theater doing some of what it does. And that seemed to work. I think we all were in agreement with that. And I presume it will continue that way unless we find something else to do.
Was there anything
Exactly
that you
what that
could
would
think
be.
of? Yeah, I was gonna say.
No, nothing in particular. I think that's what that festival is and what it's going to be, at least for a while.
Right.
We'll see how it works
Okay.
and what people think of it, what they like, what they might not like so much, or what they care the most about, and emphasize that as we go along, I presume. But that's something for us as an organization, Friends of Music, but also CAFTA, to deal with as time goes on.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about today?
No, just to encourage people to consider the dinner theater event, and I think because it is such an unusual opportunity. For those who are not barbershop singers, I would have to say they don't know what they're missing. That's not to say that we will have a barbershop chapter here, although I have had that suggested. And we've had barbershop chapters from the Memphis area and from Southern Illinois call and inquire about coming. They will be bringing people. They know what this will be.
Okay.
Of course, they enjoy barbershop singing.
Right.
They know the quality of this particular quartet. They know what they're going to see and hear, and they will come for that. But as I had one of them say to me, the whole point is to have a good time with the music. They do. This quartet obviously has a wonderful time singing, and what seems to be the case with barbershop singing is that whether you're singing or listening or singing along or whatever it is you're doing, it's a lot of fun. And it's fun for all ages. In fact, all four of these singers got started because their fathers were barbershop singers. They learned early, and they've gone on from there, and have obviously been having a good time for a very long time. But I think everybody around them has a good time, and that's what we're trying to accomplish with this. All ages, all interests, they do all kinds of things, and it's a lot of fun, and we're looking forward to it, and I think people will enjoy it.
All right. Well, I want you, the people that are watching, contact information, a website, Facebook, phone number, something like that. So they can get a hold of you guys to get tickets for that event.
In some ways, the easiest way is the telephone, 717-6308. The website is www.fom.macaa.net. That's hosted by Missouri Association of Community Arts Agencies. And our email address is fom@brick.net. Or ask at the banks and at the Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
And if you see a poster, this information is there. For people who want to know what they're getting into, you can look up Stormfront. If you go to YouTube or just Google Stormfront, you're likely to get a photograph or a video of weather passing through the sky. So put in Stormfront Quartet, and you'll find them either at their site or on YouTube. or wherever else somebody is talking about them, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
All right. Well, I appreciate you stopping by today.
Appreciate you having us on.
No problem. For anybody out there that wants to get a hold of us here at the Democrat, you can reach us at 203 First Street. Give us a phone call at 573-888-4505. You can reach me by email at ganderson@dddnews.com. Like I said, I appreciate you stopping by and give us a little more information about the dinner theater.
We appreciate the opportunity to get the word out.
I'm glad
Thank
we
you.
could help. Thank you.
Thank you, George.